gather around, folks. Let me tell you a tale about politicians and their promises that always seem to fail. Land of Denver, where the road was meant for home, Hickenlooper came along with a plan to end the roam. But where did the money go? Nobody knows. $14 million, and still the homelessness grows. Oh, Hickenlooper, you said it was your aim, but on the radio, you claimed it was just a game. Then came Polis with his all-star baseball show. Like magic, the homeless vanished. Where did they all go? It seems they know how to solve it when the outsiders come to see. But what about the folks who call this city home, you see? Where did the money go? Nobody knows. $14 million, and still the homelessness grows. Oh,
Turn on Do Not Disturb.
But we're left wondering
Do
if
Not
it was...
Disturb is now.
Now we got Johnston, the new mayor in town, promising to end homelessness. Forgive me if I'm skeptical. Well, I've heard this song before, politicians promising solutions, but what's the real score? Where did the money go? Nobody knows. $14 million, and still, the homelessness grows. Oh, Johnston, will you be another puppet on a string?
How dare you?
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Top of the time zone. I'm Alan C. You're with Johnny J in the house, here on the Innervision FM universe. You're not going to want to miss today's podcast. Brought to you by Colorado Art Relief Fund, Eeny Meeny Grants, Bonefields Foundation, Chinook Foundation, Christian Brothers Moving Company, based in the great state of Texas, Englewood, Colorado, and Phoenix, Arizona. Also, Richard Damiano of the Littleton Eye Clinic. Stay with us.
Oh my God.
That's who we love, and that's who we serve.
Is it running now? Yes. Hi, everybody. This is the Godfather Soul James Brown. I tell you, this is on. My man is on. Check him out. This is the Godfather Soul James Brown saying, stay with it and hit it. Okay, thank you very much.
Ah, yes. Mr. James Brown in the house.
Johnny J in the house.
Oh, man. So the computer refreshed before the show, so everything should be all good. Let's see. What is the official time? 10 minutes after.
10 after.
It's like, yeah, it is what it is. Hey, but at least we're starting off with a clean slate.
Yep, we are live, ladies and gentlemen, in the Innervision FM universe. We're going to be talking about a couple of things that Hugh Hewitt said this morning. He had Donald Trump on, and he asked him a couple of questions. He covered who the smartest person was in Congress, according to President Trump. But he also...
But no. According to Ted Kennedy, this is something that Donald Trump asked Ted Kennedy 25 years ago.
Yeah, and he covered who the stupidest person in Congress is. And Ted Kennedy said that hands down, Joe Biden won the prize. We're also going to talk about a couple of other topics. So stay tuned.
And
go ahead.
I was just thinking, like, we have sometimes like mentally challenged people, and maybe in the world of the blue, they say, well, let's give everybody a chance. And do they have to be intelligent? Do they have to be able to, like Feinstein, her aide, sort of tells her how to vote, and then she pushes the buttons for her, but her aide is told by somebody else to push this button and not that button. So
that's not all, folks. We're also going to talk about theft in the blue cities around the country, and we're going to talk about a lady who decided to try to steal an iPhone accessory by chewing through an anti-theft cable. So we'll let you know.
I never even thought about that, man. That must have been a good visual, because I think the cameras were right there, and all they
Right.
saw were these teeth. And I wonder, were they fake teeth?
Oh, they had to be real teeth. Like, if you folks can see my camera, you can see this cable right here. And I just got my dentures right here, and I put it on there. You know, I mean, I could just imagine what that would look like on camera.
Oh man, yeah, because I'm kind of thinking that, but I mean, she saw the price. She says $1,100.
She said,
Was
I don't want that. No, I'm going to get this for free.
Yeah, and she said that was too much for iPhone 14. Is the 15 out or is the 14?
I think it's
For-
well, the show notes say a 14. I didn't
Yeah,
see the
well, no.
article myself.
The 15 won't be out for 10 more days. Okay.
So she's got this 14. Yeah, so
Yeah.
she's trying to chew through an anti-theft cable. Man, and those things, I don't know if you know what they look like, but they are reinforced with steel. I mean, it's not like just chewing through a cord or something. It's like there's like this rubberized feeling stuff that's on the outside, but under that is a real strong piece of steel that can't be cut with conventional devices like bolt cutters or something like that easily.
And do you practice that? There was a show, there was a musician, and I think he had some metal dentures, and he had this thing that he used to do where you have somebody shoot him in the face, and he would catch the bullet with his teeth.
Oh,
And I think he was successful. I don't think anybody, he was able to catch each bullet. But I heard about that. I don't know. I don't think it was Houdini, but it was one of those musicians back in the 30s. And I said, man, that's a real showstopper right there.
yeah, I don't think Houdini would be credited with something silly like that. But leave a like down there in the in whatever platform you're watching us. Toss down a comment too. That helps with the algorithms. But I personally want to know, which magician was that in the 1930s that used to stop a bullet with their teeth?
Oh yeah, I mean that was death defying kind of thing. And then I had a friend that not too long ago. I know him like 15 years ago, maybe so. He said he used to have this friend that he used to stop bullets with his arms. He would like, he was quick enough to just divert the bullet, boom, boom, with his elbow, with his forearms and stuff like that.
Wow.
I said that's another kind of person.
See, I don't know if that's a crazy kind of dexterity or if that's another just crazy kind of level of stupid right there. I don't think that, I think that Ted Kennedy was, well, I guess this guy wasn't in Congress, obviously, but, he would definitely take the cake because I'm sorry. I would just try to either get out of the way of the bullet or I don't know.
Yeah. But
hey, folks,
invincible.
we need you to share this particular podcast. Get that out there. The algorithms are not always kind to little old folks like Innervision FM, but with your help, you can help us to break the algorithm. Hit us up at www.innervisionfm.com, and you can check out some of the different events that we've got going on. We're going to have some fun over the next coming months.
Yeah, and then I didn't put it in the show. I was gonna copy and paste it, but I don't know. My somehow I got, when I was writing up the notes and everything, I got distracted, and there was going to be this big independent concert in Denver, and because I was thinking about that concert that just got rained out in what's that place called? Vegas.
Yeah.
Like they were celebrating the dead or whatever, something like that.
Something about Burning Man, was it?
Yeah, Burning
Man Festival.
Yeah. And so I was thinking about that. And then when I saw that thing, I saw like this group called we just call them like Vagina Riot. And I remember like in 2013, they went into this Orthodox church and they had this off-colored form kind of chant they did while kicking up their legs. And then after, and one didn't make it on the stage. She got there late, but the two that did,
Did they get arrested?
They got arrested and they went away for 2 years.
Wow, this happened in the international news market. I guess this happened in Moscow or something.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I said, wow. I mean, could you imagine? I mean, even the priests who molested all those boys,
they couldn't have that.
I don't think they even got. Did any of those guys got any time, or did they just die?
Don't know. I think, I don't know. That's interesting that so they're free now. They're touring the United States, and they were going to do a independent festival down here, which had to be rescheduled, right?
Right. And so they got booked at the Gothic Theater in November.
Oh, wow.
And it was a bunch of other groups. I think it's like a punk rock type of groups. And at the open mic Wednesday night, I might have heard one, and he wasn't that good, man. I mean, I don't know, but he was saying like, hey, come on down and see me, and we're gonna be playing all these other songs. And I said, man, if it's you and your voice, I know, 2 songs, that was enough. I don't know if I could do 30 minutes with this guy, but that open mic, we got to see Tony.
Tuesday.
Last
Tuesday.
Yeah, and we got to, we got to see him, and he was number 12. There was 20 people that signed up, and I guess you reach in and you get to you take out this chip, and then you can decide. Well, you can say like what number you want to be, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then they started getting really good when we left, because we just wanted to see Tony, because we've been there for. I mean, I thought it was supposed to start at 6, but it really started at 7, and so we were there.
Wow,
like a good, nice atmosphere, whatever.
Yeah,
and then. You would tell me about the gas thing, and we ordered toast with not real guacamole, just 2 slices of avocados and garlic French fries. Hey, that season's coming, so you need your antibiotics, natural, and some orange juice that was not fresh orange juice, just whatever. That came up to $43. So the chips, avocado, that was $19 something. Wow, and then and what were you saying about why the prices were so high?
Well, you can't blame businesses because they only charge what is going on in the economy, meaning that because oil prices are shooting up and can conceivably reach triple digits here in the next couple of weeks even, it's going to all be passed on to the customer. So basically, oil prices go up, that means food prices go up. So what they've done is they've started taking energy and food out of the reports and thinking people won't notice. They'll say, well, inflation is going down, so we're doing things right. We're raising interest rate through the Fed. So we're getting a handle on this inflation, but they neglect to leave in the price of energy and food, which those keep going up and up and up. And when you've got a president that has been known to sell off our strategic oil reserves right before a sort of embargo happens in Saudi Arabia, where they're talking about cutting and keeping those cuts in place, the production of oil. You see, it was only supposed to last for a month, but they've decided they're just going to do it right through to the end of the year because we're no longer an independent nation when it comes to our energy, and because the oil pipelines did get shut down the first day in Joe Biden's term. Why, we're now going to start feeling in earnest the pinch from, these things. And so obviously restaurants are going to have to start raising their prices, which of course will then potentially produce a cascade event. So prices go up, people don't go out to eat as much. People don't go out to eat as much. Restaurants lose money. If restaurants lose money, then they go out of business. If restaurants go out of business, then a vacuum is created. If a vacuum is created, something has to fill that vacuum. And, that's when you can have the lab grown meat, other things like this. These are all potential things, folks. I got my tinfoil hat screwed on nice and tight. So it may not happen this way. This could just be my opinion, and I could just be flapping my lips.
I didn't realize how many restaurants there are. And I was just doing it in my zip code. Mm-hmm. And we just got a list of like 1,000. Mm-hmm. And I had 5 people here sitting on the floor, folding and stapling, folding and stapling, folding. And, because we put like a card so people can mail back the donation, whatever.
Right.
And we could have got more. And I think like 1,000 just in this little area. And I said, man, people must love to eat out a lot. Because it's like all these people are taking a chance of people are going to come into their eating establishment. And it was just, and this was back in 2006.
Oh, wow.
I did that. Mm-hmm. And believe me, I couldn't have got it done without those volunteers. I mean, I went and got the paper, and then the envelopes, and we had to stamp the return address on it. Lucky that was. And then then I printed out, what it was going to say on the inside, and then on the outside, you have to run it through the printer. They have the return address and the outgoing address, and it was quite a job.
Sounds like a big project.
Oh yeah, but yeah, people do like to eat out. I mean,
yeah. Even with the prices being what they are. Hey, folks, share this broadcast with your friends that are small business owners. Mm-hmm. I want to hear from you guys. Toss a comment down there. Let us know what you think. I mean, is this going to hurt you, or do you figure that it'll be okay and things will stabilize?
Yeah. Now, speaking of restaurants, I put it in chat, and it took out the part that this was first. It happened in the UK in 2022, mm-hmm. And then it happened again in the United States, and both people, decided to get cameras so they could film this going on. And I just got this sent this to me by Fox News today. There's a restaurant owner, and he said he was very tempted. And it was this one lady, she was in a Mercedes Benz. Mm-hmm. and she read up a bill, and she just decided to walk out. And he went to the car with the camera and said, "Hey, come on, pay, it's not that much." And she's arguing back and forth with them. And so, but he said he put it up on YouTube, which I want to go find those videos.
That's interesting. So we're talking about Dine and Dash. So basically folks will go in, they'll run up a bill, and then they'll go ahead and they'll just leave. Mm-hmm. Wow. That's pretty crazy.
And sometimes it's tourists, like in London, they said it was most likely like tourists. Mm-hmm. And then like here in America, it's locals, and he said 98% of the people agreed that they should pay. So that means there was 2% that says, "Hey, why should we pay if we're eating at your restaurant?" What would they be called? What do they call? Not privileged. Is a name for people who
entitled.
Yes, entitled. So there's 2% of people who believe that they're entitled to go to a restaurant, order food, eat it, and then walk away from the bill.
Wow, that's pretty crazy. I do remember a situation where I was in a restaurant, not a very good restaurant, one of those greasy diner places, greasy spoon, I guess they call them. And service was so bad that it took us 2.5 hours to get our food. We went ahead and we ate. The food was cold. There were still frozen spots in the
Wow.
yeah, we probably shouldn't have ate it because there was meat involved,
Oh man.
things like this, but we didn't get sick or anything. But then we sat there and we're like, hey, we want to get out of here, and then it took them another hour to bring the bill. So they finally brought the bill, but by the time they brought the bill, we decided, well, we've been here for almost 4 hours now. I think we'll go ahead and, but we did feel bad. We went back and we did go ahead and square up with them, but we didn't leave a tip.
Yeah. That wasn't good. Oh, I remember I showed you about the Juneteenth.
Yeah.
And it was a restaurant that they weren't prepared. I mean, I think they were able to handle like normal like rush, but not a rush like that. And so
that was some pretty crazy stuff right there.
Because people were saying they were there 2 hours, and I said we were there, I think 45 minutes before we got the idea that this is not happening.
Right.
And the poor waitress. I mean, you can't blame her.
You can't blame her because she's probably understaffed. I mean, there's usually 1 or 2 waitresses that run 8 to 12 tables. And, when you've got 12 tables that are fully manned, I guess you'd call it woman, non-binary. Geez, I don't know about this politically correct world anymore. Anyway, you got 12 people sitting at a table, or even 6 people at a table, something like that. But you got 12 tables, or sometimes you got these large toppers, they call them, where, like I say, there are 12 people sometimes in a party, and everybody's expected to, get their food, but you've only got 2 wait staff, and you might have 1 cook back there and maybe a prep cook. Man, it can get kind of scary.
Yeah, and I often thought about like maybe we should go back and see it on a regular day.
Yeah,
and then and then we can take it from that point. But we just haven't had a chance to go back there. But I mean, the people were just very nice and everything like that, and they weren't rude. It's just that there was no service.
Well, I think the bottom line is, be kind to your fellow human being. Love does conquer all, and we are called as lovers of Christ to owe no man or woman, I guess, as it were, except for our love. And
Romans 13.
Romans 13, verse. Gosh, I can't remember.
I remember
studied
reading
that. But it's Romans 13. Oh, no man except your love, or something to that effect. I've got it somewhere. But folks, we do love the Lord Jesus Christ with all our heart. That's who we serve and who we want to give glory to, because without him, there wouldn't be any of this stuff. We try to bring some levity to the broadcast and the podcasts that we do. Johnny has started a school to kind of help out with those that are blind or visually impaired or otherwise disabled, if they want to find their own little niche and make their own little podcast. Or we also help out grassroots musicians, whether you're physically disabled, visually impaired or blind, or financially challenged. Why, there's a lot of us folks in the world, but there's certainly a lot of us folks right here in the United States. And if you're one of these and you need some help, hit us up, www.innervisionfm.com, www.innervisionrecords.org. Check out the mission statement. And if you want to get in touch with Johnny J himself and things like this, hit us up at the email of www.info@innervisionfm.com.
Yeah. And if you notice, like this week, we missed a few a couple of shows that was, but I've been working on these grant proposals, and yeah, sometimes it takes me longer, and we got to volunteer. This guy, it looks like he's gonna work out, so it's like so it has him doing some stuff. But it's so funny if you live in another country, you, like we don't know like how their addresses are set up in little like towns, but it was like interesting that he was saying like in Colorado, not in Denver, Colorado, just in Colorado, and that's a mistake that if you don't live in the country, you don't know that is Aurora, Colorado, or Lakewood, Colorado.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So he says in Aurora, in Colorado, or something to that effect.
No, you forgot to leave out that in Denver, Colorado. Right. So he just doubled it up, like in Colorado.
It's interesting.
So
people do that type of stuff in other countries, and I think the big thing is we really have to realize we're not as divided as what we are being led to believe. And if we just unite around the things that make us human, we unite around our commonalities while we're busy also celebrating our differences, I think the world will go a lot smoother, and it'll be a lot better and brighter place.
Oh yeah, definitely. So so it's happening. It's definitely happening. So for the people, the 2%ers out there that don't feel like you need to pay, or hey, do you know what? You never like a supermarket. Mm-hmm. I bet that's the best place to go garbage diving because they have this rule. I think they have to throw out the chicken. If there's any chicken left over, that the throw us. And I see a lot of homeless people around King Supers.
Yeah, I would imagine places like that do get hit up quite a bit. As a matter of fact, there are policies that are centered around that very thing. So it's like, no, when you throw this away, you have to follow these procedures so that the homeless can't get in there and eat that stuff.
Terrible.
It is. I mean, we are supposed to be the richest nation, one of the richest nations in the world. And we then take food that is perfectly acceptable. I mean, gosh, I guess I look at things a lot differently, Johnny, because I've had to go without. So, I have eaten things that normally people would not eat just so that I could live. But I know what it's like to have lack. I also know what it's like to be abundant. And so when I have an open hand. I give. And when I don't have, I give out of my lack, out of what I don't have. And I encourage everybody and anybody, man, adopt that attitude, because the more you grip onto the things that you have, the more it's going to slip through your fingers. And even if it doesn't slip through your fingers, man, we're temporal. We're only here for a certain amount of time. We're fading flowers, as it were. And so if I'm gonna be a fading flower or a burning star, I'm gonna burn out doing the things that will help other folks, pay that forward, so to speak.
Yes. And for us who are I'm going to a GOP meeting tonight, and I guess our governor has decided that we don't need our tax returns.
That's what I heard. Tabor is kind of
hanging by
a thread.
So we want to get the information out. So we're going to be strategizing tonight on sending out. They have this thing where you can send out a 60-second like voicemail, and you don't have to say, "Hey, hello, you this name or that name." It's almost like AI, but is this your voice recorded going out to these people? So we're going to try to get that out to as many people as possible to let them know that don't vote yes on Senate Bill HH, because he's trying to trick you, because say, oh, it'd just be for 10 years. Well, somehow when things get started, it goes beyond 10 years, and it'd be your grandkids, and people won't know, like, oh, they used to get taxed. People forget. They don't, if nobody, and people don't remind them that, like in the 40s, they used to send us a bill, and you said you saw one from your grandmother where you decide whether how much you're gonna pay the government. It wasn't automatically taken out of your check, but so many generations have come and gone, and now we're just used to that being taken out of our checks before we get it.
It's interesting that you bring that up, because I was in a Bible study this morning, and we were in Romans chapter 13, as a matter of fact. Wow, that's kind of strange that kind of came up. Anyway, we were in Romans 13, and I was talking about how things have been changed, how scriptures have been sort of rewritten with the new versions that, to make it more understandable to the common individual. And I remember the old days where we used to have these things called sword drills, where we were made to memorize scriptures. And I think to myself, well, even if I go up to an atheist today and I ask them, hey, can you quote any verse out of the Bible? I mean, just any old verse. 8 out of 10 times, they'll quote something out of Psalms 23, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want, this, that, and the other. And it's right out of the King James, because the King James is the premier Bible out there. It's the most distributed, the most printed all over the world. The 1611 version, they call it. But they've got all these different versions, the NSB, the ASB, the NASB, I don't know, all these NIV, I mean, just the Living Translations of Message. And, there's nothing wrong with reading those translations. But the idea being, which one do you memorize? And then, okay, let's say that you memorize the one from 1973. Well, when they come out with one in 2016, that's a little bit different and more understandable. Well, then what? Because suddenly the language is all different. You're talking about taxes. Taxes is all over inside the New International Version and NASB and all these different Bibles, whereas the King James, the old style King James, called those tributes. Tributes and taxes are much different. Tributes are something that you voluntarily give to somebody, whereas taxes, we have to pay those things. Those are not voluntary. And that's really what we used to live on, was thank you for volunteering to pay your taxes, because they were attributed to the government. Whereas now, boy, if you don't pay it, you got 85,000 reasons that are being hired to make sure that you pay them now.
And that's, they're complaining about, like, the government may have to get shut down. I say shut down the federal government for a year. Shut it down for a year.
See what happens.
And then we'll get used to it.
Right.
Once you put something in, people get used to it. Do we really need the federal government?
Do we really need, because honestly, it's only the non-essential services that'll be shut down. Things like, I don't know, the housing authorities, rehab services,
school
stuff.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we call them essential, but they're non-essential in their eyes. So, but will we live through it? Well, sure. Because if we operate under owing no man except for our love, or no woman except for our love, we're going to operate just fine, because, we as Americans, that's how we're made.
So shut it down. Shut it down.
That's absolutely right.
We're gonna have to do a show like that, especially like when they get closer to that time where they're wringing their hands and acting like shutting down the government is going to be such a bad thing, and both the rhinos and the Democrats are playing the same old game, and it's like, we're gonna have to do a show on that. So I just say shut it down. Take the pensions away from these rhinos and Democrats, and say you only get paid for the time you're there, and then
That's right.
it's over.
That's right. That's right.
Come back home and
that would be interesting if we, the people, decided one of these days. Wouldn't say to do this, folks. I'm not saying to do this. Sorry, YouTube, you can't catch us on this. I'm just saying it would be interesting to see what would happen if 330 million people just kind of forgot and shut their taxes down.
oh yeah, yes.
How dare you?
That's right. Thank you,
Yeah.
Greta.
Yeah, so okay. So anyway, so hey, that's gonna do it for us today. And this weekend is my wife's birthday, so we're gonna have some fun with that.
Hey, happy birthday to your lovely wife.
Yeah. So we're gonna have fun. Gonna go have some bush. I think it's like the beets and some other stuff mixed in there. I want to make my own bush, and some cabbage and stuff like that. So it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. So
I do love some borscht.
yeah. So hey, for everybody, get out, do something fun. We're gonna have a few more weekends of nice weather, and so enjoy the weather.
Amen.
All right.
God bless everybody. Have a great weekend.
Oh yeah, definitely. Okay. Let me take that off.